Hi folks, it's Job Lot Comics here. We're having a look at a kind of controversial, not very controversial, but it was a little controversial issue of the Fantastic Four. It was issue 119. It's got a couple of interesting things going on in it, and it's a Black Panther crossover here. And we've got the Thing and Johnny Storm breaking T'Challa out of prison in this particular comic. Now, what was controversial about this comic? Well, this is at a time when Stan had left and Jack had left, 1971. So we're coming out of the 60s and going into the 70s, and things were moving on in the Marvel Universe. And Fantastic Four were, of course, one of those main titles, the Marvel's first family. And you get the typical sort of opening here with the Thing and Johnny having a big fight, and then Reed Richards introduces his new robot. It's not Herbie, it's, would you believe, something called Anti, which Aunti, not Anti, not Anti. Just a bit of sort of Bronze Age silliness here. And then we get to the story. It all sort of works around Wakanda and the Fantastic Four getting drawn into the plot. I won't spoil too much in case you just want to pick this issue up. What is weird in this as well is they're flying out to Wakanda, and the plane that they're on very coincidentally gets hijacked. Look at this doofus! You got a gun on a plane. How did that even happen? And it gets worse, yeah, because of course you're going to hijack a plane. You're not going to pick one that was with the Fantastic Four on it. Well, it's just Ben and Johnny. So he melts his gun, and then this meatballs get this grenade, and of course the Thing just stamps that out. So obviously this was a concern back in the 70s with the planes being hijacked and stuff, yeah. And then, as if this comic wasn't sort of charged enough, we do get into a kind of storyline with the Black Panther, and there are elements of racism and segregation. Obviously, an analogy of what was going on probably in South Africa at the time. And the Black Panther, interestingly, refers to himself as the Black Leopard. Yeah? Now, they explain this, yeah. The Thing says, how come you called yourself the Black Leopard back then instead of the Panther? And T'Challa says, I contemplate a return to your country, Ben Grimm. That's America, where the latter term has political connotations. I neither condemn nor condone those who have taken up the name, but T'Challa is a lot unto himself. So, hence the new name, a minor point at best, since the Panther is a leopard. And he says, sheesh, might as well have had old long-winded Reed here with us. So, Black Panther starts to refer to himself as the Black Leopard because there was a political movement in America called the Black Panthers, and Marvel didn't want to be associated with them. So, yeah, slightly spiky. Now, I wasn't in America in 1971 as much as I would have loved to have been, so I wasn't really sure, but I'm pretty, if you were around at that time, you will know all about that situation over there. And on top of that, Claw's back in town, because of course he is, because he's always there when there's a jungle. Claw will be there doing his thing, and then Black Panther or Black Leopard. Now, this was a decision that was revoked eventually because, Jungle Action starring the Black Panther came out, and they didn't stick with that Black Leopard thing. It did seem to be a kind of sort of flash in the pan type idea, and yeah, I just found it quite interesting at the time. Who says comic books were never political? So, yeah, an interesting issue of the Fantastic Four there. You can make of it what you want. Apart from that, it's got some great artwork in it. It's quite a cool story. It's a self-contained issue. You get to see the Thing and the Human Torch doing, their double act together. This copy here I bought off eBay. No, I never. Yes, I did. I bought it off eBay and it was really, really cheap. Do you know why? Because it's ruined. The whole thing's knackered. The rusty staples, you can see the spine here is all destroyed. The colour here's all been rubbed off. Yeah, I don't know, and it's just a complete mess. But I bought this for $1.50. So in American money, that's about I don't know, $1.50. It says here about $1 $1.14 or something, yeah? So you see how cheap it is. If you want this in high grade, you're going to pay a lot more for it. Any road up, I hope you enjoyed looking at that. If you do like your comics being political and you want to have a wee sort of time capsule look back at 1971, grab this issue of Fantastic Four, then subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.